Yes, Mr. Speaker.
I call the member Marama Fox. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe. Mr. Speaker, I want to start by apologising for completely stuffing up the vote just a few minutes ago. I know, it's a learning curve, but I'm going to make sure that I get this one right because this is one that we feel very strongly about. He te mana whakawā, the Māori Party stand to oppose, again, the Employment Relations Amendment Bill. And for the benefit of the other new members who might need some advice like I did, just to make it perfectly clear, the Māori Party voted against the first reading on the 5th of June 2013. We voted against the second reading on the 19th of March 2014, and we will be opposing it again. There was never any question in our minds as to why we opposed the bill. He aha te mea nui o te ao, he tangata, he tangata, he tangata. It has always been about the people, and in this case, the situation for workers and their whānau. Kia ora. We believe that this bill will weaken workers' rights by allowing bosses to walk away from collective agreements. The new law introduces the right for employers to opt out of multi-employer collective bargaining. While we welcome the new measure which requires employers to have first acted in good faith, it is the fact that the principle of collective bargaining is threatened which we are particularly concerned about. The concept that we in the Māori Party have always believed in is that innovation in the economy should be built upon a foundation of workers' rights and terms. It should not be a case of either or. We believe that our community, our nation can have both. We believe our people can be both employer and employee. We can create future prospects of economic growth while at the same time adhering to conditions of employment that are socially and economically fair. I want to share with the House an anecdote which comes appropriately from a book called 3 Cups of Tea, One Man's Mission to Promote Peace. We all sat there laughing and sipping tea peacefully, an infidel and representatives from these 3 warring sects of Islam. And I thought, if we can get along this well, we can accomplish anything. The British policy was divide and conquer, but I say unite and conquer. I turn to us in this House and remind us of the importance of kotahitanga, a purpose for being which unites us and achieves gains through working together. This week, the Labour member for Ikaro Rāwhiti issued a challenge to iwi leaders to step in on the Employment Amendment Bill, of which I congratulate her for. I support this. I want to place on the record that when the Tallies strikes happened in Wairua, the Māori Party did exactly that. We called in the iwi to support the workers and the iwi leaders came to the call. Ngāti Kahungunu provided support for whānau affected by loss of income. The Māori Party joined with the iwi leaders, taking on a mediator role, and through collective solidarity, the employers, the iwi, the Māori Party and the whānau were able to unite and conquer. We should never forget that our greatest capacity for influence is not only through speaking out and against, it can come even more persuasively when we work together, speaking up to unite. Iwi leaders are the employers and employees. They are members of whānau, they are workers, they care for whānau with their rohe, just as the members of the Māori Party or the Labour Party or all the parties in this House can effectively do. We need to work together for the greatest gain, which in this case is to support workers' rights. And the goal would be that we work collectively with Māori organisations to make a difference. My greatest hope is that in this Parliament we can work together for what is right. Dividing certain groups against each other will never achieve the difference we need. He te mana whakawā. The Māori Party has always spoken out in support of workers' rights to be treated fairly. We are particularly concerned in this legislation with the change to the rule protecting the jobs of vulnerable workers in industries such as catering, cleaning, laundry services, where the employer loses a contract to a rival bidder. We know that the people it will most likely affect will be those in these sectors, caretakers, hospital orderlies and such. And we know that it is women, Māori, and ethnic minorities who make up the majority of those workers. Disadvantaged groups, often low paid, have limited bargaining strength in the labour market and are most likely to be disadvantaged by these changes that strengthen employers' rights and power. Greater protection is needed for these workers, not less. We believe the proposed changes to rest and meal breaks are inconsistent with the international human rights and have negative implications for healthy and safe working conditions, particularly for vulnerable workers, including our youth. For the record, once more, and make sure that I get it right, we oppose the bill.
I call Denise Roach.